Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Nasir Soft. This is the second video of the data manipulation and cleaning tutorial series, and in this video we will talk about the one of the important topic, that is the outlier detections. So in this video you will able to learn about the outliers, the types of outliers, the method for detecting outliers. We'll talk about the visualization technique like Boxplot, scatter plot. We will talk about the statistic technique like Z-score, IQR, and machine learning techniques. And after that, I will show you how you can handle the outliers. So after watching this video, you will able to learn the outlier detection, not only theoretical but also practical in Python code. So let's start. So what are outliers? Outliers are extreme values that lies far away from the rest of the data. They can occur due to measurement errors, data entry errors, or natural variability in the data. For example, here you can see that the red fish is outliers. Okay, so due to its color and different behavior from the rest of the data. Similarly, you can see the outliers in different images. So what are the types of outlier? There are two types of outlier. One is called the univariate outliers and second one is multivariate outliers. So what is the difference? So univariate outliers are outliers in a single variable. For example, some age inside the age column, if the age is 104 or something, if the human age are okay between the for example 1 to 80 and some value occurs like 1000 or something, this is called the outliers. We have the multivariate outliers also. There the outliers between the relationship between the two multiple features or variables. For example, if in a data a high salary, if employees are a high salary that but it's low experience, inside the experience column this is low value but the salary is high, so this might be a outliers. So the multivariate outliers consider relationship between multiple features. Okay, so the methods for detecting outliers are, we have the visualization technique like box plot. We will check it practical in Python later in this video. We have scatter plot and we have histogram or something like. Okay, so you can detect the outliers through the statistic techniques, that is Z-score or Z-score, or and the second one is interquartile range, that is called IQR. I have a separate video on both of these topic that explain in detail, but in this video I will also show you in some touch of how you can, what is the Z-score and what is IQR. Okay, so our main focus is how we can implement the Z-score or IQR in order to detect the outliers. We will also detect the outliers through the machine learning techniques like DBS scan, that is density based spatial clustering of application with noise, isolation forest, or one class SVM basically methods. So what is Z-score or Z-score? Z-score is something like how many standard deviation a particular data point is far away from the mean of the data set. Okay, so in the video description my detailed video on Z-score and IQR is basically, the link is mentioned, so you can check, go to that specific link for detail. But in this video I will show you quickly what is Z-score or Z-score. Z-score is basically, through this formula we calculate the Z-score for each. For example, this is the student marks data. For each marks we will we will reduce overall the mean. Okay, and then divide by the standard deviation of the data, that's called the Z-score. Here you can see that the 12 minus the mean 10.44 of all this mean of this data set is okay, and when we divide by the standard deviation of overall data set, then the Z-score or Z-score will calculate it. Okay, so later on we will check how you can calculate the outliers through the Z-score. So after calculating the Z-score that is greater than 3 and less than -3 is considered as outliers. Methods. Okay, so in order to understand the IQR, first of all you need to understand the percentile. Okay, so the percentile is very simple. It just indicates the value below which a given percentage of data points in a dataset falls. For example, the 25 percentile means the value below to 25% of the data lies. Okay, the 50, if we talk about the 75 percentile, it means that the value below 75% of the data lies. It means that all the points that lies below than 75% will become into 75 percentile. We will talk 25th percentile is called Q1 and 75 percentile is called Q3. The IQR is very simple. That is to, in order to reduce the Q3 minus Q1, that is called the IQR. Okay, so the detailed video that explain how you can calculate the IQR is basically the link is mentioned in video description. You can just go through and watch that video, okay, in order to understand the IQR. So how you can detect the outliers through the IQR methods. Okay, so for example, if you calculate the IQR, we will multiply it in 1.5. Okay, and we will basically the value that lies below the lower bound. The lower bound is nothing but q1 minus 1.5 time of IQR, and upper bound is basically 1.5 time of IQR plus Q3. Okay, so all the values that are below the lower bound and greater than the upper bound are called the outliers. So through this method I will show you later in this video how you can calculate to detect the outliers from the data set in Python. Okay, so how you can handle, now you basically you detect the outliers. Now how you can handle the outliers? We can handle it in three ways. We can either remove the outliers if our data set or rows or column is not so crucial, so we can remove that row that contains the outliers, or basically remove that specific column. But if that is then, basically that is crucial data, then we will go for the second method, that is capping or flooring outliers. Is nothing but replacing the outliers with some other values, that for imputations method or something like. And for example, if the marks in order to replace the outliers, okay, that is greater than the upper bound, as I already told you in IQR method, or less than lower bound, we can replace the marks which is greater than the upper bound with the value of upper bound, and the marks which is the lower than the less than the lower bound will be replaced with the lower bound values. So this is the cap or flooring outliers method. And the third one is we can transform the data. For example, we will apply the logarithm transformation or something like so. Okay, so let's now understand how you can calculate the outliers practically in Python. So let's start. So in Python you can calculate the outliers or detect the outliers. Okay, so this Python code is mentioned in video description link. Okay, so you can download this whole Kaggle spreadsheet. Okay, so first of all, how you can visualize the outliers? Okay, through the cburn and matplotlib. Okay, for example, this is our data. Inside the data we have different marks, that 10, 12, 15, and one marks, that is the 100. For example, this is the outlier, that is the rest of data is below than 30 or 30, but the one entry is more away from the 30, that is outliers. For example, how you can basically visualize it? We can visualize is through the box plot methods. Through the sns.boxplot, if we basically make the box plot of the marks column, here you can see that the box plot is showing, but one entry, that is 100, is below, very far away from that specific, okay, box. So this is called the outliers. So how you can detect the outliers visualization, in a visualization way we can do it through the box plot. So the second thing, how you can detect the outliers through the z score or z score. Okay, so this is very simple. We will calculate the z score. Okay, the z score is nothing but for each entry minus its overall data mean divided by the standard deviation of overall data. We will calculate the z score. In this code we basically create a new column for each entry that's contain the value of z score or z score. And for this formula, every value a z score is greater than 3 or less than minus 3 is typically considered as outliers. Okay, so inside here just I make a one check. Okay, inside the data frames or data set, if the z score value, absolute value, is greater than 3, then it's considered as outliers. Okay, so the third method is IQR, how you can detect the outliers through the interquartile range. Okay, okay, through this, for example, first we will calculate the 25% of quantile, that is called q1. Okay, through this Python method, that is quantile, and inside this 0.25 mean 25% of quantile. Okay, and we can calculate the 75% of quantile, that is called the q3, through this. Okay, and IQR is nothing but subtracting the q3 minus q1, and we will calculate the two bounds okay, so the lower bound is q1 minus 1.5 time of iqr, and upper bound is q3 plus 1.5 times of iqr. All the data that are less than the lower bound, or all the data that is greater than the upper bound, will consider as outliers. Okay, if I print the outlier here, you can see that the one value, okay, that is the, for example, beyond something. If I execute all this again, for example, here execute this cell, execute all these sets, okay, all these sets, here you can see that it's showing me the 100 is outliers. Okay, so before that it's showing the 400. Basically, before this tutorial, uh, instead of 100 I places 1400 and run this, so therefore it's showing me the 1400 is outliers. But now if I again run, it's showing me the 100 value is the 100 marks value is outliers. Okay, so you can detect the outliers through the machine learning method. This is very simple. Here in this, I use the basically isolation forest method, that is the machine learning algorithm. And inside this, if you detect, here you can see that it also showing the 100 marks as an outlier. Okay, so this is how you can detect the outliers in Python. So I hope after watching this video you have understood about the basic concept of outliers, and how you can detect the outliers, the types of outliers, and how you can handle the outliers. If you have any question, you can ask your question in video comment section. I will reply it, or a question link is also mentioned. If you can order me any work, the order link is also mentioned in video description. Just call that specific link. You can attach any or upload any file or documents. Okay, don't forget to subscribe my channel for more informative videos. Stay blessed. Have a nice day.